Okay. Um, this is going to be my first instructional tutorial, video, whatever. So pardon my awkwardness. I have been sewing for several years, and I worked in a quilt shop for about 4 years. And in that time, I was asked how to do this many times. People get this far in their binding and they can't remember how to make it connect. So I'm going to show you how. I make a mark on my quilt, on the edge, somewhere in the middle between my unfinished edges. Okay, my binding is 2.5 inches wide. So I want half of that, a number that is half of that, so 1.25. I'm going to put this along the edge. I'm going to slip it down just a little bit so that I can see that little line that I made before. From that line, other way, I'm going to measure 1.25 inches. And I'm going to mark my binding that way. Okay? Then I'm going to do the same on the other side. If you can hear my kids in the other side of the room, I apologize. They're being really, really loud right now. So then I do 1.5 inches the other way, or I'm sorry, 1.25 inches this way, and mark it. Okay? Now this part, please forgive me if I mess up at first, because sometimes I have to do this a couple times. I open it up this way and this way. And you're going to want your right sides, your correct sides, facing each other. Okay? And if my light was really good, I'd be able to see where I made that mark. But I can't, so I'm going to improvise a little bit. My mark was right there. All right? Now I can take the time and I can go ahead and put that line on this side. I'm making sure that my line will be drawn straight by lining up along this way. I can see the binding through my ruler. It's on these dots in the middle, so it's nice and straight. I'm just going to draw that line. I'm not worried about all the chalk on this side because that's just going to get cut off as long as I do this right. Okay, so now right sides together, and you want to make sure that you're not flipping this and flipping it and flipping it, because I have actually had this so twisted up once. Okay, so your lines are going to go on the outside of this square. Envision a square here, okay? They're going to go to the far side, the outside. Right? Now, you will have to fold your quilt and bring it in a little bit here. Make sure everything's nice and flat. Right? I really wish I had more light. You're going to put a pin here. Okay. Then, without moving anything, because you don't want stuff shifting around, you're going to put your ruler here. Now, some people forget, they can't remember if they're supposed to sew this way, or what way do they go. The way I think of it is, these are the trashy ends. That's just the extra. I'm going to cut that off. So you're going to want to sew from here to here to cut those off, okay? So I'm going to draw a line from this inside corner to this inside corner. So I'm going to draw a line. Alright. Still making sure that nothing shifts around. And I'm going to put in another pin. Alright. I'm going to sew along here, and then I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch away from that line that I stitched and get rid of the trashy ends, okay? I will be right back. Okay, so you can't see, but I have stitched along this line. I'm going to take my ruler. Remember, we want to cut off the loose ends. Pardon me while I bend down and look, because this is dark fabric. I line up my 1/4 inch with that line I just stitched. And I cut that off. Ta-da! Then I open up this seam. Right. I'm just going to use my fingernail and finger press this. You can go hit it with the iron if you want, but I'm going to go over it with the iron in just a second anyway, so finger pressing's good. Alright. I'm going to open this up. And this fits in here, just like so. I'm going to press this. I'm going to finish stitching along here. And that's the hard part that everybody stresses about getting their binding connected. Now you know.